Scott here. In this video, we're going to go over the three long shots I like in the 2022 British Cup races. The pre-entries came out today for the races. I didn't really see nothing that was any surprises. The British Cup kind of had it right, a lot of their projections where the horses are going to go. There's horses been nominated first choice and second choice. So there's some things that could change between now and the race. But nonetheless, we're going to go with what we got now. And we're going to go over three long shots that we like. And the first one's going to be in the British Cup Dirt Mile. And the British Cup Dirt Mile is going to draw a pretty decent field, I think, this year. It's got Cyberknife, who's also nominated to the British Cup Classic, but I think his connection probably ultimately wind up running this race. It'll be an easier spot for him. But the long shot that I like in this race is going to be Simplification, and Simplification is by Antonio Sano. Uh, he kind of raced the Kentucky Derby show earlier in the year, got third in the Florida Derby. Won the Fountain of Youth. He bled in the Prix. He came back, after the long layoff. Got third in the West Virginia Derby, but I think that was, just the first start as the beginning of a means of something else. And the Pennsylvania Derby, they stretched him out, a mile and an eighth. And at one point in the race, he was up there, he was looking good turning for home and just kind of flattened out and finished a good fourth. But, this race turned it back to a mile, and I think Simplification will be a lot better at this distance. So I think for that, and the odds are going to be, really high on this horse, probably upwards of 20 to 1. So for my pick, I'm going to take Simplification as my long shot pick in the Dirt Mile. He may not win, but I really think he's going to be in the trifecta and the superfecta at the end of the day. But at the odds you're going to get, you can't help but take a chance on him. And the second horse we're going to talk about is Regal Glory. And Regal Glory is pointed to the Breeders' Cup Mile, even though this is a filly. If you give me just a second, I'll swap over to it. Okay, so here we have the Breeders' Cup Mile. Also has domestic spending, coming off a long layoff. Modern Games, who's been very high by Charles Appleby. And Regal Glory, kind of started out really good earlier in the year. Won the Jenny Wiley, won the Just a Game Stakes at Belmont, and then got second in the 4-star Dave. And then in the Keeneland ran and didn't really do that great. Could have done better. But I think this race will be, where you see Regal Glory take that next step forward and run like the beginning of the year. And the fact that Chad Brown is still putting this filly up against, males in the Breeders' Cup Mile says he must still be high on her, in my opinion. So you're going to see probably they have it at double-digit odds, I think 15 to 1 right now, but I don't think she's going to go off at 15 to 1. I could see 8 to 1 or 10 to 1, but nonetheless, I don't see how she makes it out of the trifecta or anything. And I'm going to bet her to win in this spot, and I think she had a very good chance against this field. And the third horse we're going to go with is going to come into the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint, and that horse is going to be Obligatory. And Obligatory, when it raced at Gulfstream earlier and won the Derby City Distaff, it looked really good for him. And then, came back, raced in June in the Better Roads at Belmont, got second. And then took a couple months off, and they got third in the Ballerina. But when I watched that race, I also had Goodnight Olive, and I didn't think they was trying to really press Obligatory to say win the race. I didn't see the jockey really asking, like going all out. And she took a really wide trip. And the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint had a history of, springing some upsets over the last few years. And I think that trend could potentially continue. I see Obligatory being, 10 to 1. I think she's 8 to 1 if you go by Vegas odds right now. But I could definitely see 10 to 1, maybe pushing 15 to 1, when the race takes off. But nonetheless, I think Obligatory has a great chance to win the race. And that's going to be my three long shots I like in the 2022 Breeders' Cup. And thanks everyone for watching. Plenty more videos.